Well, what is up, YouTube? And welcome into Scap After Dark. I am your host, Scap Attack, here live with you guys. Many of you have seen me probably on Sunday live streams with MJFB, but this is the first solo live stream that I'm attempting on my channel, mainly because, guys, it's playoff time, and I just want to get in here and just talk some shop with you guys on all things it is NBA playoffs. You guys might periodically see me peeking up here. I have my TV going. I'm watching the second half of Rockets Warriors right now. So, I'm not, there's no like voice of God speaking to me. I'm just looking up at the TV to intermittently check the score, check things that are going on up there. And we can discuss that if you'd like to. And speaking of the voice of God, you guys might also be hearing a voice in here from time to time talking with me. That is also not God. That is my moderator. He will be keeping an eye on the chat, making sure there's no troll activity occurring in that chat. And troll, he might actually shout out. I'm looking at the chat right now. He might bring some things to my attention, possibly. So if you hear a voice, that is Gary, the moderator. Guys, welcome. It's been a pretty exciting playoff season so far. I know many of you are in here. Guys, what's up? Everyone's saying hi, Scap, in the comments. I will be, like I said, keeping an eye on it. What is good, everybody? Welcome in. God, I'm feeling pretty nervous right now about the Nuggets Game 7 tomorrow. We could talk about that in a bit. There is, though, some breaking news going on today that I did just want to drop on you guys as we have started into the second half of this Rockets-Warriors game. It's 56-53. Make that 58-53. Now, Rockets, I have to be completely transparent here. I am a little surprised with the Rockets right now and the fact that they've been controlling this game for the majority of the first half. I was expecting a Warriors closeout tonight. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the course of this live stream. But as I said, guys, breaking news, LeBron James, I know he fakes many injuries. He is retroactively faking another injury on the way out, allegedly, reportedly, supposedly. Did you see that LeBron flopped his way into an MCL sprain? This occurred, I think it was around the 8-minute mark in the fourth quarter of the closeout Game 5 last night when he collided, I think, with DiVincenzo, and he stayed down for a minute. A pretty mundane, superfluous-looking collision, if you ask me. Didn't really look like much, but LeBron stayed down for an extended time. He did re-enter the game, but news today claiming that he sprained his MCL and would have actually been out like 3 weeks had the Lakers won that game or advanced or whatever. So you can take that news for what it is. I find it hard to believe. If LeBron wasn't whining about it in the post-game presser, then more than likely it didn't really happen in my estimation, because LeBron was whining about a plethora of things in the post-game. He was musing about his maybe retirement or how much longer does he possibly have, typical LeBron stuff. He was also, I'm not sure if you guys caught this, begging and whining for more help. Guys, there's going to be a video out tomorrow, sometime in the morning or afternoon, about his antics in that post-game presser, primarily about what he was saying about needing more help and complaining It sounded like he was complaining about Rob Pelinka, the job he did, and the trade that he made for Luka Doncic. But we'll get into more of that tomorrow. That will be covered in the video tomorrow. So we have more LeBron antics going on, of course, even as he's out, because everything, of course, has to be about LeBron. But we also have the retirement today of a legend. I just want to mention it. Shout out, tip of the cap, salute to Greg Popovich for a tremendous career. Absolutely breathtaking, remarkable, probably Mount Rushmore as far as I'm concerned in terms of coaching greats. So he steps away officially. He suffered a stroke mid-season and never finished the season out. And now it appears that he will not. That will be the end of his coaching career. Of course, he's transitioning to some some involvement in the front office, the Spurs front office moving forward. So, guys, we are now 9 minutes. I just want to update this game. 62-56. Rockets remain in control of this game, despite the fact that Jalen Green is an absolute bum. I just want to give him a shout out. The young super stud Jalen Green, who had kind of an emergent season, 21 points per game average, but not in this damn series. 14 points per game on 38% shooting coming into this game. I think the Rockets would probably be looking for a closeout themselves tonight, if not for the disappearing acts of Jalen Green. Tonight, I believe he had 7 points on 2 of 8 shooting in the first half. So not much better tonight. I just wanted to give him a reverse shout out, a negative shout out to Jalen Green. I'll just give him my first solo live stream shout to Jalen Green. Step up, bro.
Yep.
Like, and I want to see. Oh,
you got one.
Do I hear Gary breaking in here? Voice of Gary. What's up? What's up, Gary?
Breaking news here. You got a super chat from John Ratcliffe. It says, Thunder played like the frauds they are versus the Grizzlies. I told you this over a month ago, Scap. Still confident in them. Thank you for your donation, John.
Gary, thank you for alerting me of that. John, thank you very much for supporting the live stream and for supporting me here. Yeah, I mean, you're right, John. They sure didn't play their best basketball. I don't think, not really even close. And yet they absolutely obliterated the Grizzlies. I mean, Shea played probably a C- game throughout the course of that first round series, and they did not even lose a game. So I am as confident as ever in the fact that my preseason pick, that was my pick back in September, was the Oklahoma City Thunder to easily win the championship this year and begin a dynasty. I'm pretty confident in that pick still. We'll see who emerges from tomorrow night's Game 7. Of course, everyone that knows me and knows my content knows I'm rooting for the great Nikola Jokic to emerge from that Game 7 and maybe get some revenge on Shea somehow in that next round. But I actually think if the Clippers are the ones that emerge from that game, I think really the Clippers could potentially test the Thunder a little bit more, could push the Thunder probably a little bit more in that semifinal series. So, yeah, I personally am I'm leaning towards neither team is going to really challenge them. I think Minnesota actually is a fairly difficult matchup for them, and we'll see who Minnesota gets. I was thinking, as I said, going into tonight, checking the score, 65-62, still Houston continues to lead here. I was thinking Golden State would easily close this game out, and they would be taking on Minnesota in the next round. And quite frankly, I favor Minnesota in that series as well. So, Minnesota and Oklahoma City is what I'm eyeing for the Western Conference Finals, but we'll see, because Minnesota is not typically very good in clutch situations. Golden State has been pretty good in clutch situations in this series. They've been very good, actually. So, John, to answer your question in a roundabout kind of way, yes, I am still feeling very confident in Oklahoma City. They are a generational defense. They had an elite generational type regular season. They're going to have the MVP in Shea. So there you have it. I'll be shocked if they don't get at least into the NBA Finals, and then let's see what the Boston Celtics and them have in store for us. I think that might be really the only great series that we're going to get in these playoffs. Gary, how are we looking? Are there any other comments that I need to address?
Well,
I see one here that most recently saying I'm rooting for Cleveland to win. I think I would kind of like to see Cleveland get into the. Yes. I would like to see Denver and Cleveland in the NBA Finals. If I could hand pick which teams get in there, right. I actually don't think Denver's going to win that Game 7 tomorrow, so I'm not going to get my wish on that end at least.
It would be beautiful to stick it to LeBron if Cleveland won a championship. That would be such a great story, and you could make an epic series of videos on that story alone.
Yeah, Gary moderator here raises a good point. I think that would be a pretty hilarious storyline if it would also be in the season where LeBron gets Luka Doncic during the trade deadline and emerges as this, I'd say playoff darling They were really a dark horse pick coming into these playoffs. The Lakers, look, I don't want this to fall by the wayside. I don't want the revisionism to overshadow what was being said about the Lakers heading into the playoffs, as various pundits, jock sniffers, LeBron sycophants out there were calling for the Lakers to get into the Western Conference Finals when they got that 3 seed, and then push the Oklahoma City Thunder, an unproven young Oklahoma City Thunder team, and a team that the Lakers fared fairly well, matched up fairly good against in their regular season matchups. People were actually speculating that the Lakers could get into the NBA Finals. So if they go out in the first round, if they win only one game in the first round, in the same season that the Cleveland Cavaliers would get into the NBA Finals and win it, that would be a hell of a hilarious storyline. Just one of the many hilarious and pathetic storylines percolating around LeBron's career.
We got another super chat from S8. Appreciate that. Have you watched Charlie Kirk, political debate guru, debate a LeBron fan on who is better between MJ and LeBron? The MJ facts crushed LeBron as always. Thank you.
Oh no, thank you, S8, for the super chat. Thank you for again. Thank you for supporting the live here and for supporting me. I appreciate that. I am aware of Charlie Kirk, but I am not. I did not see the LeBron Charlie Kirk debate. That would be pretty funny to see. I think Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I know he kind of eviscerates liberal questionnaires in various town hall settings and on his various social media platforms. But no, I've not seen Charlie get into the sports debate forum. So I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Xavier just gave a 5-piece. Thank you for that, Xavier. Sometimes I dream that he is me, LeBron James, mocking the Be Like Mike.
Xavier, thank you very much for the super. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think LeBron does dream that Jordan was him, or at least I think LeBron dreams that he is Jordan. We know that LeBron has been gallivanting around pathetically with his positive affirmations for the last 22 years now and counting, trying to reassure himself that maybe someday the vast majority of people out there would think that he is the GOAT instead of Michael Jordan. Of course, it's 22 years in, and no one's still taking the bait. I mean, we have, of course, the Clutch Sports Payroll jock-sniffing sycophants that have been parroting that ridiculous line for far too long. Aside from that, maybe 20% of the NBA fan base, in my opinion, think that LeBron James is credibly, legitimately the GOAT. Of course, the vast majority of that 20% were born like in the year 2002 or past. So keep trying, LeBron. Better luck next year in year 23. Maybe if he plays, I don't know, 30 years, maybe possibly then he might finally amass some kind of a resume that could at least challenge Jordan. But I wouldn't be holding my breath for that. That's for sure.
We got another super chat from Saggy Bones. Who's the worst general manager in that? Whoa, if you're talking Jerry Jones or Nico, wow, that's hard. That's a case for the GOAT worst GM.
So is the question the worst GM in all of sports or the worst GM in the NBA?
It said in Dallas. So I'm guessing he's talking about Dallas sports because you got Jerry Jones versus Nico. Wow, that's a tough one. I might go with Jerry Jones myself.
I mean, look, I'm known as a basketball guy, but I really like the NFL as well. I'm hoping to get into some NFL commentary here at some point when I free some time up here, sometime possibly in this off season. So keep your eyes open for that. But Nico Harrison is a complete and utter disgrace and joke of a general manager, but I refuse to accept that he was not dictated to from on high from ownership to make that trade, or at least at the very least really consummate that. I think where I blame Nico really is the deal that he got. I think he could have gotten a ridiculously a significantly better deal. He probably could have gotten 5 or 6 future first-round picks, and if he wanted young assets, that too, more than likely, if he put Luka Doncic on the open market, or if he was, you know, an actual good general manager, but he's ass. He's complete garbage, is Nico Harrison as a general manager. But as assy as he is, as big of a joke, a pathetic disgrace as Nico Harrison is, and I'm not saying he's anything but that. Guys, Jerry Jones has won. What has the Dallas Cowboys won? Gary, help me out here. Was it 3 playoff
I'm a Cowboys
wins?
fan. Nothing.
Is it two or 3 playoff wins since 1995?
Yep.
I mean,
it's horrible.
What are we talking about? We're talking about America's team, allegedly. One of the 3 or 4 best teams, if you cut off from 1995, from the beginning of the Super Bowl era, and like I think it was like 67,
right.
68, that the merge point was with the AFL, NFL, and go all the way into 1995. I mean, what are we talking? Probably Dallas, Green Bay, maybe you throw Pittsburgh in the mix. Like, those were the 3 teams that you're talking about in terms of like the best teams in NFL history. And 2 or 3 playoff wins in 30 years. Many of the LeBron jock sniffers out here that have been genuflecting and kissing the feet of LeBron probably weren't even born at that point in 1995. So they've witnessed 2 or 3 playoff wins. I'm going with Jerry Jones actually as the assiest general manager in Dallas.
I would too. A couple other, thank you for these donations that are rolling in. John just wanted to comment, which I think you and I would agree on. We all know if Cleveland wins the title this year, LaFleur is going to absolutely do some insane mental gymnastics about how he built them into champion. I agree, John.
This is what I'd like to see. If Cleveland wins, John, thanks a lot for the super chat, John. I appreciate you. If Cleveland wins, this is what I'd like to see. LeBron, I'd like to see a live cutaway to like a camera in Cancun. I want Bron floating on his little raft with like his rubber ducky inner tube in Cancun with the rest of the lake show. Maybe him and JJ are going to be vacationing. And I'd like to see him say, Cleveland, this is for you. I'd like to see that if we can make that happen. So let Adam Silver, I know you can do it. I know you're probably watching, Adam Silver. If you're not watching, I know damn well you can hear me with those big ass ears. So make it happen, bro. Gary, real quick before, if I don't know what else coming in, I did see T Perfect. I just want to give T Perfect a shout out. I think I saw a super from him, maybe 1 or 2, and he's mentioning that he's on Goat James Kingdom tomorrow. So I want to give a shout out to T Perfect on GJK. He's debating Kobe LeBron tomorrow. So I might have to tune into that and scope that out. And Godspeed in that Kobe debate. I was in Go James Kingdom a couple months back, and I talked about that topic as well. So T Perfect, thank you for the super chat, and good luck tomorrow, my brother. What else we got, Gary?
We got Stump with a five piece. Thank you, Stump. It says, is Giannis going to stay in Milwaukee after Damian Lillard tore his ACL? Did the Bucks fail? Well, obviously they failed Giannis, but is he going to stay because of Damian tearing the ACL?
Yeah. First of all, it was Stomp. Is that, Gary, the name Stomp?
Stump.
Okay. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. And I did actually, you can find it in my videos from maybe like 2 or 3 days ago. I did do a video covering Giannis and the fact that the Giannis era should unequivocally be coming to an end, and it should be coming to an end this very summer. I love Giannis. I love the fact that I believe it's 12 years now. Next year will be his 13th season in the NBA. 12 years spent with admirable service in Milwaukee. The guy, I think, achieved something that very, very few NBA superstars could have. Very few NBA superstars ever have, in the fact that he won a championship. Keep in mind that Chris Middleton, please keep in mind that Giannis won an NBA championship with Chris freaking Middleton as his second option. That is an unbelievable feat. And Giannis is an unbelievable talent. He is an all-time great. He's going on 7 consecutive first-team All-NBA selections, 7 consecutive top 5 MVP finishes. And just to put that in context, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson each did that 9 straight times. That's the footing that Giannis is on. But guys, he just does not have enough help. He legitimately does not have the help. I know I take it on the chin a lot when I defend Nikola Jokic, when I say rightfully so that he hasn't had enough help, because I'm critical of LeBron for always begging for more help. But that's because LeBron has had a plethora of help throughout his career. Jokic never has really, and Giannis never has really. Finally, his first legitimate, like perennial all-star running mate in Dame that he got 2 years ago. But Giannis missed the playoffs last year. And now Damian basically missed the playoffs this year. And essentially Dame is done. In my estimation, this is career-ending kind of stuff for Damian Lillard, because he's nearly, I think he is 35 now. He's essentially the same age as Kobe Bryant was when Kobe popped his Achilles, and Kobe never made it back from that ruptured Achilles. He played in only 107 games of the 246 possible games after he ruptured his Achilles in 2012. If the great Kobe Bryant couldn't make it back with that maniacal work ethic, if he couldn't get back from that Achilles, as he was extremely depreciated in those 107 games that he played, I'm not betting on Dame Lillard to do it. And if he does, it won't be next year. It will be the year after. And Giannis at that point would be entering his 14th NBA season. We need to free Giannis. Get hashtag free Giannis. He needs to demand a trade. It needs to be done this summer. And the Milwaukee Bucks should get an absolute treasure trove back for him. They should be getting what Dallas should have gotten, what that bum Nico Harrison should have gotten in that Luka Doncic deal. I'm talking young assets and like 5 future first-round picks.
Right.
Get it done. All right. Sorry, Gary. I heard you chime in. What do we got?
Oh, no, you're good. I was just agreeing with you. We got Mustafa Ahmed. Who's better at playoffs, Shea or Joker? Robin from Sports and Fitness Rant said Shea. I think it's Joker. He coaches the team mid-play. Love from Canada. So who's better, Shea or Joker in the playoffs?
I mean, it's clearly Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic is playing, first of all, he's playing a behemoth defensively right now. I believe the Clippers were 3rd in net defensive rating for the regular season. That was 3rd while only getting 37 games from Kawhi Leonard, who is a 2-time defensive player of the year. So, I mean, take that for what you will. They are better now than they were in the regular season. And they're anchored underneath by Zubac, who is arguably positionally the best defender. Obviously, you've got Mobley, but Zubac is, let's put it this way, the best, most well-positioned player to defend Nikola Jokic. He is the only person that has held Nikola Jokic for Nikola Jokic's career under 45% from the field. So he is essentially the best defender of Nikola Jokic. And look, the Clippers are deploying a team game around. They're singling him at times with Zubac, and then Zubac does have help on the back end. And when Zubac is out, there's typically double teams going at Jokic. And despite all of that, and playing in a series where his team is averaging right at or under 100 points, Jokic is averaging 25, 11, and 10 right now. He's averaging a 25-point triple-double on 51% shooting from the field, 45% from the three-point line. If he holds the averages through Game 7 tomorrow, it will be the 3rd time in NBA history that he has averaged 25, 10, and 10 for a playoff series. And just to give that some context, I believe LeBron James has done it twice ever. And then there's 4 guys that have done it once ever, which include Wilt, Magic, Oscar, and Westbrook. So those 4 guys did it once. LeBron did it twice. Nikola Jokic is 30 years old. He's about to do it a 3rd time. He's doing it right now. He's been way better than Shea in the playoffs right now, but Shea just has a way better team. So I'm going obviously with Nikola Jokic here.
Yep. Here's one from Juice, who says, no disrespect to Shea, but Joker plays like a top 3 defensive team in the league, and he still plays better so far than Shea did easily against Memphis.
Yeah, Juice, thank you very much for the super. I appreciate you supporting me out here. Thank you very much. And I just echoed what you said. I agree. Shea, look, people think that I hate Shea or that I hate on Shea
No.
because I am trying to talk up Nikola Jokic, but that's not the case. I respect Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I love his game. I love his outlook. I like just the way he carries himself. And look, they're going to be a dynastic team. I can see them winning 3 to 5 championships in the next 7-ish years. So Shea's going to be regarded as an all-time great. He finished second in MVP last year. He's going to win the MVP this year. He'll probably win at least one more MVP. So, 2 league MVPs and 3-4 championships. The guy's going to be remembered ultimately. I think Shea has the opportunity to get top 15 all time and at the end of the day, because look, he's also quite durable. There's really nothing to dislike about this guy, two-way player, but he's just not better than Nikola Jokic, and he's not more valuable than Nikola Jokic. That's the only reason that I've been kind of going to bat for Nikola Jokic all year. Gary, before I let you back in, I think Juice actually sent me something else, and he said, outside of LeBron, who would probably be your number one, who are like your 3 most overrated players ever?
Yep.
So that's an interesting question I just wanted to take from Juice, because I'm watching, again, let me just update you on this game. Rockets, Warriors, Rockets still holding a lead. They've essentially led wire to wire in this game. They're up 5 right now with almost 2 minutes left in the third. And I know I'm going to get a lot of probably hate for this. I get a lot of pushback from my regular viewers and subscribers whenever I talk about it. But yes, it's true. To me, LeBron James is the most overrated player in NBA history, and probably, I would say, the most overrated athlete in all of professional sports. Another player, though, that I just cannot get in line with the consensus rating of where he is a guy that's playing in this game right now, Steph Curry. And again, I'm going to take all the hate here for bringing up Steph Curry's name in the context of overrated. But just, I want to tag on to my Shea Gilgeous-Alexander conversation, or my comments that I just made about Shea, because I don't hate Steph. I don't dislike Steph. I respect Steph, his career, his abilities. I very much love what he's done throughout, and certainly in defeating LeBron James in 3 NBA Finals. The enemy of my enemy, as they say, is my friend. So thank you.
Right.
Shout out to Steph Curry. But with that said, I hear consensus ranks on Steph Curry all the time. Top 10. Right. I hear top 5, Mount Rushmore, better than Kobe. If you want to say to me Steph is borderline top 10, at this point, I'll concede that. I'll take that. But top 5, Mount Rushmore, better than Kobe Bryant? No. So I just cannot get in line with that. Therefore, I personally think Steph is a little overrated for the context of where he's typically rated at. Aside from that, I'm trying to think of consensus guys that I think are really overrated. No one I don't think really glaringly comes to my mind in terms of overrating, other than really LeBron James. But that's just me, honestly. Steph, let's see here. Speaking of him, 84-80 now with a minute to go. Rockets with the ball. I'm telling you what, if the Warriors lose this game, there's going to be some tense moments for them going into a game 7 in Houston. Houston's going to be loosey-goosey in that one. They're going to be playing with house money, even though they are the 2 seed. Golden State has all the expectations on them.
Right.
So, I'm just.
I got a couple other ones here from Xavier. Wants to know, can you give a detailed breakdown of the 2003 Rookie of the Year race? That may be a good idea for a video in the off season after the playoffs, because we know in the off season of summer, NBA headlines are slow. So Scap tries to come up with some outside the box video ideas. So he thinks Melo got screwed from Rookie of the Year, but he wants more details.
And who sent that?
Xavier Logistics.
Okay, Xavier, thank you very much. Shout out to you for that. Thank you. And yes, I think that would be a good idea for, just off the top of my head, of course, 2003, you're talking Melo, LeBron. I believe, again, top of my head, don't hold me to this, but I think Melo averaged slightly more points than LeBron James that season, more rebounds than LeBron that season. LeBron out-assisted him. Melo shot higher, a higher clip, higher splits from every level of the floor, the field, the three-point line, and the free throw line. Obviously, true shooting, effective shooting, better for Melo. And I do believe that the Nuggets and Cavaliers had identical shitty records the year before those two players were drafted. I think they both won around 17 or 18 games the year before those two were drafted. Then their rookie years, the Nuggets make a jump to, they're over 500. They make the playoffs in the much more difficult Western Conference. The Cavaliers made a big jump too, but only to like 30-some wins, and they missed the playoffs in LeBron's rookie year. So, yeah, unequivocally, Carmelo Anthony got jobbed from the rookie of the year. That's just that was just the first moment, though. It was LeBron's first season, and the first example of media coddling and protection of LeBron, of giving him things, anointing him to platforms that he didn't deserve. So, yeah, I could probably dig more into that at some point in a video. I see, Gary. I just want to give a shout out to John Ratcliffe. He's given me a couple super chats here, so I just want to thank him. He said he subbed. True story. I found your channel because an inmate at his prison was watching my channel last season on his tablet, and he showed it to the rest of the guys, and he subbed that night. So, John, I just want to thank you so much for these super chats. Hopefully, you are no longer in prison. And I'm glad to hear, though, that the prison folk and the inmates are Scap fans. Like, shout out to you guys in jail that are watching Scap Attack. I'm humbled by that, to hear that, John. So thank you very much for sharing that story and for the super chats for supporting me out here. I appreciate you and your fellow inmates.
And we have another one here. I have not lost them. I've just got to find. Okay, we've got Emmanuel, who says, with a 5-piece, thank you for that, Pistons and Knicks need their own video. Also, Jalen Brunson, one of the most flopping clutch players in NBA.
Well, so wait, who sent that?
Emmanuel Favor Igwe.
Oh, wait, hang on. Okay, first, Emmanuel, thank you very much. I will get back to you to that question. Thank you for the super chat, Emmanuel. But breaking news, though, John Ratcliffe has re-replied. He is a correctional officer, so John is actually not in prison. John, I'm glad to hear that. But again, thank you for supporting me and watching the channel, and for the super. I appreciate you, Emmanuel. Yes, I agree. Guys, truth be told, I'm sorting my way through this whole social media thing, YouTube thing. I'm still shouldering a lot of this on my own, so I don't have time necessarily to do as much as I want to right now. So unfortunately, I haven't gotten to some of the Eastern Conference stuff. But yes, that New York series was compelling. Jalen Brunson, Emmanuel, that was kind of a backhanded compliment, I think, to Jalen Brunson. Flopping clutch players. Like, is he a flopper or is he a clutch player? I guess both can be true. Brunson, it has been phenomenal in these playoffs. I just want to give a shout out to him. Phenomenal for him. And that game last night, that dagger three to seal the series, was just a remarkably clutch shot. And he was good down the stretch in general, kind of willing them to that win. So, kudos to New York for getting the advancement there. But I just want to say Detroit had a great year, like one of the worst run franchises by and large in NBA history. Just a tragic garbage can of a team for pretty much the last, decade plus. And a very resurgent bounce back turnaround year. The future is very bright for Detroit. I was hoping for them to get that into a game 7. Would have liked to see that. Wasn't in the cards because of Jalen Brunson and his clutch antics, but great series there. And yes, I will be doing a video on Brunson and the Knicks coming up shortly. You have my word, Emmanuel. Gary, what else do we have?
We have Mark Law. You continually downplay. Scap, you've heard this quite a few times.
I'm sure I do.
Jamal Murray and Chris Middleton averaging 25 points per game to Jokic and Giannis's 30 points per game. Only Kobe and Kawhi didn't have much help from 2010 to 24. I'm not sure what else he's saying here. For RM, no two averaging. But anyways, he's saying that you're downplaying Jamal Murray and Chris Middleton as Robins.
Yeah, Chris Middleton is, I believe he's been an all-star 3 times. He's like 33 years old. He's been in the NBA, I don't know, 12 years-ish. So 3 all-star appearances out of 12 years, never designated an all-NBA player. Jamal Murray, meanwhile, has never even been an all-star. He's never been an all-star, never been an all-NBA. I believe Jamal Murray's, I think he finished, I don't know, 6th in Rookie of the Year voting or something like that. That was Jamal Murray's, that's his top award finishing point. With that said, Jamal Murray was fantastic in 2023. Let me just concede that. Let me say that. I've been on the record of saying that. Jamal Murray did play all-star caliber in the 2023 playoffs. You can make a case Jamal Murray played all-NBA caliber in the 2023 playoffs. And what did they do that year? They won the NBA championship. That's my point. Nikola Jokic needs one all-star caliber guy to win the championship basically every year. Because that season in 2023, when Jamal Murray played like a viable all-NBA caliber player, well, it's not like he was carrying Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic led the NBA that year in points, rebounds, and assists. He became the first player in NBA history to do that in those playoffs. He averaged, I believe it was off the top of my head, 30 points per game, 13.5 rebounds, and 9.8 assists. He was 0.2 of an assist off of a 30-point per game playoff average that year. So don't talk about Jamal Murray like he's carrying Nikola Jokic in 2023. But what Jamal Murray did do in 2023 was carry his weight. He did what he had to do in supporting Nikola Jokic, something Jamal Murray hasn't done in Nikola Jokic's entire prime outside of 2023. So Murray's been good this series, not great. He was exceptional one game. We'll see what happens tomorrow in Game 7. I will give Jamal Murray the credit when the credit is due. I made a very favorable, flattering video about Jamal Murray on the heels of the 2023 title run. You guys can look back there. It's posted in June of 2023. Go back and look at it. It was about an 8 or 9 minute piece devoted only to Jamal Murray and how great he is. I mention him in the same breath as like a Kobe Bryant in support of Shaquille O'Neal. So I am willing to take my hat off for Jamal Murray. He has to give me an opportunity to do it. Unlike last season when Jokic was balling out in the playoffs, that was the same Jokic last year as it was in 2023. What it wasn't was the same Jamal Murray. He dipped to 20 points per game last year on 40% shooting, and he was in the 30 percentile in shooting until the Game 7 against Minnesota, which hoisted him barely out of the 30s for the whole playoff run. So we'll see. He looks very good. He looks spry. He looks engaged. He looks healthy in this playoff series right now. We'll see if it means anything tomorrow night. But no, I don't think I'm downplaying Jamal Murray. I think I'm being a realist about Jamal Murray. I think many of you are overrating Jamal Murray to seek and try to attempt to discredit Nikola Jokic in some way. What else we got, Gary?
We got the Cutter for life of the 5-piece. Thank you for that. Players that were just considered role players in the early 2000s would be star players or even all-stars today.
Well, I mean, I would, off the top of my head, I'd like to see some examples of this, or some suggestions of who this person might be talking. First, thank you very much for the super chat. Shout out to you for supporting me in the channel. With that said, I think, look, the statistical outputs of the early 2000s, I talk about this often on this channel, extremely depreciated for basically back then to now. I mean, when you talk about the 2000s, a lot of people mistakenly say the 90s, but really up into the mid 90s, scoring was still fairly high. But then in the mid 90s, like 95 is when scoring precipitously dropped. But then it got even lower into the early 2000s. I mean, I believe in the early 2000s, 1 year scoring was around 94 points per game. So we're talking 20 points per game less back then than now. So yeah, I mean, guys scoring 18, 19 points per game back then, probably were scoring 27, 28 points right now. So there's no doubt that guys that, looked the way they looked back then would look probably much better in today's day and age. Conversely, you can make the case that many of the guys today would look a lot different if you dropped and plopped them back then in those mid-90s. So I agree by and large with that.
Yeah, all right. We got another one from TMIVRC. Thank you for that donation. Scap, I'm curious, what's LeBron's future? Will he lose the throne eventually? Well, just let me chime in, TMIV. LeBron's not on the throne, FYI. So anyways, and he asks, or will he get exposed for not being the king that people hype him up to be?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate you, and I appreciate that. I have been rejecting this premise of LeBron James on any kind of throne for years because I grew up watching it. I grew up watching him play. People wonder why I've got the Kobe's behind me, obviously, as you see. I grew up watching Kobe bust LeBron, right? Bust LeBron up. I grew up watching Kobe punk LeBron in All-Star games, carry LeBron in gold medal games. Again, humiliate LeBron in blue-white scrimmage games. Like Kobe, I just watched Kobe be the superior player for the entire overlapping era that those two played in. And for some reason, systematically, I watched these sycophantic trolls in the mass media trying to anoint LeBron James to some undeserved throne where he still sits atop that perch to this day. Now, will he always hold that? I think more than likely he will. I think he might dwindle in hindsight in years to follow after he retires. I think right now he's pretty much consensus top 2, even though I don't have him top 5. I never will have him anywhere near my Mount Rushmore. But I think consensus has him like top 3 for the most part. I think maybe as he gets more distance away from the NBA and we can actually evaluate the career and the winning that he did do more and more, I think potentially that shine, that he might lose a little luster on that shine, so to speak. Also, I'm just going to say, if any credible allegations are confirmed to steroid usage, I think that would potentially shift some of the consensus viewpoints on LeBron James as well. There's plenty of smoke to those steroid allegations, but no yet fire or burning building. I think it probably does exist. I think the NBA might actually be helping to suppress that. Again, this is just speculation by me. But if anything does come out on that front, then potentially I think I think that would probably diminish his outlook too, and what his career, the consensus on his career is. So good question. Gary, what else do we have?
I've got another 5-piece from N43. He says, "Hi, Scap. I'm a huge fan. Thanks for always speaking the truth. If Jokic was to leave Nuggets, which team would you want to see him on, with or without Giannis?"
Great question, bro. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for supporting me, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys, all of you guys. I'm going to try to get to all these super chat questions. I was just coming on to watch the game, kind of talk about the game, but I don't mind just talking, answering these questions. I am always humbled whenever I come on here and get these super chats. So thank you very much, guys. To answer this one, look, I've done some tongue-in-cheek videos, commentary about me wanting Giannis and Jokic to team up, primarily because I think they're the two. To me, Giannis and Jokic, let me not mince words here, they are the two best players in my estimation since Kobe Bryant retired. So the best two players I've seen since Kobe, to me, are Jokic and Giannis. That includes LeBron, it includes Durant, it includes Steph Curry. So let me just say that. And yet these two guys have not had anywhere near. And if you want to say I'm diminishing their help or whatever, fine. But no matter what you think of their help, it ain't what LeBron's had. It ain't what Durant or Curry have had. So I want Jokic and Giannis to have that and to see what they can do if they got it. With that said, it's not going to happen. They're not going to pair up. Probably Jokic isn't going to leave because the guy's just too damn classy to demand a trade like these other scrubs that jump from team to team in this era that we live in today. But outside of him teaming with Giannis, which dream scenario, I would like to see Jokic and Giannis pair up in Miami. I'd like to see them take their talents to South Beach and them actually win, not 4, not 5, not 6, and fulfill the hollow promise of LeBron, where he got literally carried off the court after winning 2. But where do I think is a realistic opportunity or a realistic landing spot where the Nuggets can get what they need, where Jokic can get what he needs? Well, we're watching them right now. The Houston Rockets, I think they were matriculating towards a first-round exit. They might still be, though. It looks like they're still up 4 now with 9 minutes to go in the fourth. It looks like they might actually be forcing a Game 7 at home. But if the Rockets would have lost in the first round, I think they will be major players for Giannis this summer. I think if they lose in the first round, though, they're going to try to make some kind of a big splashy move. And to me, Jokic is a better fit even than Giannis. You could trade Schengen and Brooks maybe. I'd have to look at the exact contracts to make it match. But I think Brooks, and you might have to throw in a third player in there just to make the contract. Jokic makes about $55 million. But you trade Schengen, Brooks, maybe a third, and like 4 or 5 first-round draft picks. And then Nikola Jokic, you just dump him right there in the middle of Houston. He doesn't need anything else. He has these young, athletic, stud defensive wings. And I think the Rockets would be immediate championship contenders. To me, they would be by far the championship favorites. So that would be a scenario or a situation that I would really like to see Nikola Jokic get into. But the guy's going to sign an extension this year, this summer, more than likely in Denver, because the guy's just too damn classy.
I got one more guy for you to add to that list. You said the 2 best players since Kobe retired is Jokic and Giannis. I got one other guy. Healthy Kawhi Leonard. He's right up there with those 2.
Fair.
Yeah. And those are the 3 guys that won championships.
Fair. And challenging championships. Right. So yeah, absolutely. You put Kawhi Leonard in there. Like the San Antonio championship is what it is. Like, I mean, you've got 4 Hall of Famers on that team. Like, I mean, I'm not overly, but they were playing a super team in their own right when they beat the Heat. So super team to super team, whatever, fair, even field, and he won that one. But the Toronto one, even with the fact that the Golden State got those injuries or whatever that year, that was a legitimate, bona fide, awesome title run by Kawhi, where that was like a Kobe Jordan-esque type run. He averaged 30 points per game in that playoff run, played elite, all-world defense. Absolutely. Kawhi, the problem is Kawhi's not healthy enough in my estimation.
Right.
But if we're just saying peak and at health, Kawhi's in that mix for sure with Jokic and Giannis.
And you notice something else is that LeBron, being so greedy, he jumped ship from Cleveland to go to the Lakers because he wanted to try to put himself in position for a ring. Had he stayed at Cleveland and Golden State had those injuries, they had a strong chance of beating Toronto and then facing a depleted Golden State team. They may have actually won that. So LeBron may have picked up that championship. Fair. But he got greedy. Okay, so anyways, let me go ahead and jump to another one here.
Hang on, Gary. Let me interrupt you real quick. I just saw one just flash up. Jolly Joshams. You are forgetting in your Rookie of the Year analysis that LeBron was deemed the chosen one. So of course he deserved it. For real, love the channel. I just wanted to thank. I just saw that. I just wanted to read in. Jolly, thank you for that. And of course that is why LeBron won that year. LeBron won because he was supposed to win. Like the media was just kind of had preordained that he was going to be that and get that. So they gave it to him. So I just wanted to go give him a shout out and mention that. What do you got, Gary?
Yes, sir. I had another one lined up here. Let's see here. Okay, 10X209 with a 5-piece. Thank you for that. Scat, just to let you know that I watched the whole 5 hours of you versus Gil debate, and you absolutely cooked him. You are the GOAT of NBA media at the moment. Team Scat till I die.
Damn, 10X, is that the name?
10X, like TINEX, and
10X,
then the number 209.
My man, thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you so much for the support, continued support. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, I enjoyed my time with Gil, and FYF sports. I basically, that was a 2-on-1 debate. Let's be real with it. Like, I was debating FYF and Gil, and I think I did win that debate. But it is what it is. It was primarily on their two platforms, so they had a lot of commenters and stuff that were backing them. But yeah, I made those 2 videos, and I linked the full thing in the description. If you have the tenacity and the wherewithal to make it through all 5 hours of that, really just tip of the hat, kudos, shout out, and all the praise to you. And I appreciate you doing that. I appreciate the super chat and for supporting the channel. And yeah, I would love to do more of these debates. The white whale on my debate wall, the guy I would like to get mounted up on my wall, the head on the wall of my debate forum would be Nick Wright, this sniveling little stooge, LeBron Clutch Sports sycophant plant. I would just love his smarmy arrogance that he has and that he exudes. I would just love to get in there and mix it up with him on even just the Kobe and LeBron topic. It's too easy for me to do Jordan and LeBron. That's too easy. Like, I'll challenge myself.
Right. Hey, Scap, I just sent you a text. Can you check that real quick? Just to
sure, Gary.
And I'll get to the super chats.
Cool. Absolutely. Yep. Let's keep it going. And while you're looking for your next one, I would like to update the chat. 98-89 Houston with 7 and a hook to go in the 4th quarter here. Guys, this is coming. I mean, look, Houston has been in multiple games and could not close it. So who knows? There's still a lot of time left in this game. Golden State has proven to be, the more clutch team in this series as well. They should. They have 2 proven playoff winners in playoff Jimmy, and 4-time champion Steph Curry. So, this could still tighten up, and the Warriors can still close this out. But the Rockets have been in command of this game the whole game, and this is going to be interesting if it's a game 7. We could talk about that, when the game goes final in about 7 minutes. Gary, what else do we got?
We got another one from John Ratcliffe, a 2-piece. What's your take on possible NBA expansion and where? So maybe a city like maybe Seattle. I'm asking about Seattle. He's just asking, where do you think an expansion team might be a good place, a good city?
John, thank you again for the super. I appreciate that. And a good question. I think I'd like to see Seattle get a team back. That's a good that's a good one to bring up. Ultimately, I'm just going to come out and out myself here. For those of you that don't know, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where nobody likes basketball pretty much. So it was hard. It was hard damn work becoming such an avid NBA fan that I am, growing up in Pittsburgh, where it's all about football and hockey and baseball. And actually, my mom's a big basketball fan as well. She traveled around the country with me watching Kobe. We would travel and see Kobe games live in other areas. So just speaking as like a fan and a hometown that is I still view Pittsburgh as my home. I don't live there now, but I go back often. My parents still live there. I would like to see Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh, they're good. They are an avid, rabid, and faithful fan base. So while they haven't historically been known for their basketball support, I think if you put a basketball team in there and they were good, the Pittsburgh fan base would get out and support it. And I would like to go back and visit and watch some games with my mom, live games with my mom. So I would like to see Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania be in the mix for a basketball team. But outside of that, Seattle. I always hate to see teams lose or cities lose their teams. So sure, I'd like to see Seattle maybe get their team back. So that's a good candidate as well. And Adam Silvers is out here thinking Europe. He wants to do some kind of overseas expansion. So we'll see if that ever actually comes to fruition.
Yeah, nice traveling nightmare that'll be. Traveling and scheduling nightmare. Living like Eli with a 2-piece. Scap, have you ever played basketball?
I did play basketball in my younger days. I played guard in terms of like what my playing style was, but I was always on the taller side. I'm about 6'3" right now, but I was, 6'1" when I was in the 8th grade. So I was typically one of the taller people. So I always got stuck underneath playing the forwards and centers, unfortunately, even though I was my offensive style was more guard oriented. But yeah, I played a hodgepodge of all sports when I was growing up. I just loved. And again, being in Pittsburgh, I didn't fall in love with basketball till later on. I started playing when I was in. I started playing really when I was in the 7th, 8th grade. Which is right around the time I started really loving the basketball when I was in the 4th, 5th grade. Actually, the 2 years Jordan was out of the NBA, ironically enough, were the years I started watching the NBA. And then when Jordan came back and played his second three-peat year with Chicago is when I really fell in love with the NBA. Kobe, of course, got drafted in '96. So Kobe became my favorite player other than Jordan at that point. And that's kind of how young Scap found his fandom.
All right. How do you say this? Yo. He says, LeBron plays another year. Luka realizes LA and La Daddy issues are a nightmare. Luke takes a minimum contract. Well, just me chiming in, Poe. I don't think he would take a minimum contract, but I think he could some guys on Denver could restructure the contract so that they all took less, because he says Luke takes a minimum contract to play with Jokic and we all celebrate. I think Jokic would take a pay cut. I don't think Luka would have to get, $1 million a year. You wouldn't get
I do not see Luka Doncic taking a minimum contract at any point. I think he would maybe take less, and I think, like you said, maybe restructuring. I don't know if it can happen with. Look, MPJ's contract, I think, would be up by then. But Jamal Murray is firmly in the midst of this like $55 million per year contract right now. I think that goes till 2029. And then if Jokic signs the extension this summer, he's probably going to be making about $60 million. It will be difficult to get a third person on that in free agency. It would have to be some kind of a sign and trade, which is facilitated by the Lakers. More likely to me, if we're going to actually live in a world where there might be some kind of a team up coming between Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic, it would probably happen by LeBron retiring and then the Nuggets trading Jokic to the Lakers would probably be how that would happen. The two love each other. It would be wild to see those two playing. The passing that would be going on there would be unbelievable. But I unfortunately, I really don't see any way that that's going to happen, but it would be fun. And I'll think about it. I really don't see, I do not see the Lakers making the adequate moves this summer. I'm going to put a video out tomorrow about the Lakers off-season outlooks, which ties in with LeBron's pitiful little post-game press conference wine sesh after the Game 5 elimination. So the Lakers, spoiler alert, don't really have much space or ability to make any kind of upgrades in this offseason. So really, they are going to be what they are going into the playoffs next year, or going into the regular season at least next year. So we'll see if Luka gets tired of being scapegoated for an entire NBA season next year. You got a little taste of it in the playoffs. Yep, go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, Eric with a 5-piece. Will NBA change the block/charge rule to allow real defense? In my opinion, they should institute LGP rule to make the game more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see a lot of changes. Real quick, Gary, 101.89 with now 5.5 minutes. Guys, I've been telling you all night as I've been on here watching this. The Rockets are going to win this game, I think, and we're going to get a Game 7, a shocking Game 7. Did not see that coming at all at tip-off tonight. But anyway, I would like to see a lot of changes made on the defensive front here. I would like to see hand checking thrown back in. I would like to see, I would like to see, the paint called differently. I think I would probably like to see the defensive 3 seconds removed as well. Let people kind of just stand in there and clog up the underneath a little bit more. That's something actually Luka Doncic has highlighted and why it's so much harder to play in Europe than it is in the NBA. But yeah, look, they've been systematically eliminating defense for like 20 years now in the NBA, in the front offices and in the league offices, led by Commissioner Gargoyle, Adam Silver, and those humongous ears of that guy has on him. Anyway, he is consistently downgrading the 90s and 2000s product, saying how gross it was to watch and how it was too physical. So look, the product that we have here, the lack of physicality, is basically a testament to Adam Silver's and the NBA that he wanted to build and that he wanted to create. So I think we need to get rid of Adam Silver's and overhaul the defensive schemes and rules, starting with the way the paint is called and allowed to be defended under there. So good question, and very shout out to you. Thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate that. What else, Gary? What do we got?
Yes, sir. We've got another one from N43 SH. One more question. Were you ever contacted by Clutch Media to take down your content? And would you, if they contacted you and asked to?
Thank you very much for the super. I appreciate you. I appreciate the question as well. I have not been contacted by Clutch. I honestly, that would be a day of celebration for me. I would be a very proud day. I would think that would be like a day that I felt like I actually made it. If I get to LeBron to the point that his people reach out and contact me about my content and what I'm putting out here, would I take it down? No, nothing shy of a court order or YouTube taking me off would get me to stop my crusade. Look, I want to talk about other sports. I want to talk about other things. I have been talking about other stuff in the NBA now for a while, other than LeBron. I know that's what I'm thought of, or that's what I'm known most for. And mainly because I'm just a fan, ultimately, that has been annoyed with the narrative and the commentary surrounding LeBron James, the ridiculous overrating of him and his career. So it's my content and my beginnings on this platform and the way I started and attacked LeBron was really just a byproduct of me being like a frustrated, annoyed fan, watching all of this and detesting the conversation surrounding him, wanting to change it. No, I'm very proud. I don't say anything just to say it. I don't say anything for clicks, for clout, for whatever. Like I just say things that I want. I say things that I believe in. And one of the things I believe very strongly in is that LeBron James is a bomb and he's destroyed the NBA. So I will continue to promote that messaging as long as he's in the league and destroying the league still to some degree in my estimation. No, I won't be stopping, and no amount of money from Clutch would make me. Good question, though, and thank you for the super.
All right. We have Stump with another 10-piece. Do you think spacing is overvalued in today's offensive play scheme that constantly leaves the paint open or teams just standing around, thus contribute the decline of the NBA product?
Yeah, there's no doubt. Good question, Stump, and thank you so much for yet another super chat. I appreciate that very much. I think it's undeniable that spacing has been elemental in the push for not only the enhancement of statistics today, but just the pacing, the scoring altogether, just everything on the rise. For whatever reason, analytics and three-point shooting has become the craze. Speaking of the game we're watching right now, Golden State, Steve Kerr, they get a lot of the credit ultimately for this movement, this court spacing movement and free-flowing three-point shooting kind of a league that we've gotten ourselves into. But I think it started before that. I'd say the 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns were already moving in that direction. The Spurs, if you guys remember the Spurs team that eviscerated the Heat and ended LeBron James's tenure in Miami, I believe that was the biggest NBA Finals blowout in league history. The Heat did win one game, but even winning one game, that was the largest margin of differential in Finals history. The Spurs just blew them off the court, and it was with a lot of the concepts that we're seeing now today with all of these 3-point shooting and spacing, but it's just reached a different level now. Like every single team is doing it. The Minnesota Timberwolves shot 47 3-point attempts in their closeout game 5 against the LA Lakers. 47. They didn't even play a center, not for 1 second of the game. Their starting and only center, Jackson Hayes, played 0 seconds in that game. And the Timberwolves are a huge team, and they refused to attack the basket. They just continued to space the floor out, slash the rim, throw it out for threes. They shot 47 of them. We just have to change things fundamentally. I think changing the defenses would really help, allowing hand checking, allowing physicality, maybe even forcing these guys to play more one-on-one defense. Going back to the illegal zoning rules possibly might be beneficial as well. Make these guys, make it incumbent on them to stop someone or to be the face of someone lighting them up. Like, play at their pride. If someone's going to drop 50 on you, make them do it on somebody. Like not a zone or like a part of the floor that they're shooting on repeatedly. So anyone that is of my age or around my demographic or my general age era specific, so to speak, will probably dislike the gameplay today. And like I said, there's ways to amend it and correct it, but it begins with a change of leadership, and it begins with getting Adam Silver the hell out of there. But great question, and thanks for the super. Gary, what do we got next?
Yes, sir. We've got 5 CT. That Gill debate was not 2 versus 1. FYF opened the asylum doors and let the crazies loose. 10 versus 1. You held your own for sure.
I appreciate that. It did get a little out of hand at one point. It was even more than 2-on-1 after about like 2.5 hours. There was multiple people in there, but yeah, it was fun. Ultimately, it got a little contentious at times, but I had a lot of fun ultimately doing it. And I am thankful for Gil for not being afraid and a coward and taking the challenge to debate me, even though I think he lost. Shout out to him for taking the challenge of debating me, because it's not easy to debate me on the Kobe topic. There's not much I know more of in my life than the Kobe LeBron debate. It's pretty much the thing I know the most about, and I'm always willing to talk about it. Speaking of which, I just want to interrupt you 1 second, Gary, on your supers, and thank Jake Koning, I believe, his super. Appreciate the consistent stream of NBA video, Scap, and thank you for defending Kobe's legacy. So the reason I wanted to jump in there with Jake, thank you very much, Jake, for that super. I very much appreciate that, and I appreciate you for being out here for the Black Mamba. I will always be out here for Kobe as long as I draw breath and have any semblance of a platform whatsoever. I will be out here for Kobe Bryant. I will not stand for this Kobe Bryant slander, and I will be a consistent talking mouthpiece for Kobe and for his legacy, because damn it, there's not enough of us out there that are speaking up on what's going on with Kobe and the consistent degrading of his legacy. Now it's disgusting to me. So Jake, it is my absolute pleasure, and thank you for the super. Gary, what's next?
We got another 5-piece from John Ratcliffe. You guys got massive steals, pun intended, in Sawyer and Howard out of Ohio State, a no-nonsense SOB on the defensive end, and good pocket quarterback.
Well, we'll see, John. Thank you very much for the super again. This is just very generous of you. I appreciate all of your donations for me here tonight. We'll see. I personally don't know what the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing. I'm just speaking freely about the quarterback situation. I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be the play in the offseason. For whatever reason, he visited for 6 hours. They left without a contract. I don't believe there's been any other meetings since. Then the whole Shedeur Sanders debacle. I thought they should not take him in the first. When he was available after the first, I was positive they were going to take him at some point, and they didn't. And then they of course, grabbed their guy, I believe in the 5th round, I want to say. So, we'll see. Kirk Cousins is still out there available via trade. I don't know what they're doing with quarterback. We'll see what materializes. But I know it's been damn near a decade since Mikey T and the Steelers have won a playoff game. So I know I am eagerly awaiting some kind of a playoff win this year. Gary, Gary, before we jump in, we are now under 3 minutes. The Rockets have the ball. They are up by 13 points. So start getting ready. We will have a shocking Game 7 development. We can go through the box score maybe when this game goes final and just take a look. But Gary, first, let me get a couple more of these super chats here.
Okay, we've got Bands Nabs. This is a good question, and maybe even one for a video in the future. Who's your top 3 most and least honest media journalists?
My most, and we're just going to stick right to basketball. My most and least honest media journalists. I've been a big Rick Bucher fan for most of my life. I think he's always been very solid. He always says it like it is. Coincidentally, he is a big Kobe guy, and he kind of is not the biggest LeBron fan. So maybe that's playing some factor in on me mentioning Rick Bucher. I'm also going to say Charles Barkley. Like this guy, Charles mixed it up with Kobe. If you remember that, right around that Phoenix series, that 7-game Phoenix series where Kobe lost that Game 7. And Charles was very negative towards Kobe. But ultimately, Charles, I've seen him. He has Kobe somewhere generally. He's vacillating with Kobe somewhere around like 5 to 7 on his all-time list, I think. LeBron below Kobe. And Charles typically always says it like it is. So I've always appreciated his candor and honesty. Least honest. Oh, Gary, I don't know. And the super chat, to answer your question, least honest, like everybody pretty much.
Yeah.
I'll give a shout out to Stephen A. Smith because look, this guy got into it with LeBron, and now all of a sudden he's attacking LeBron because LeBron came at him. So now Stephen A. is going back at LeBron. But basically, other than that, for the last decade plus, Stephen A. has been smooching LeBron's feet. He's just been bootlicking LeBron James by and large for essentially the last 10 or 15 years, referring to him as the second best player of all time. Like when, where, and how did LeBron leap other players? Like Kobe Bryant, like Magic Johnson, like even Larry Bird. I mean, Stephen A. Smith is so disingenuous, and he's the most dangerous kind of journalist because he's been covering the sport for decades. Like he has the cashish. He is the main voice of ESPN, the talking mouth. He's probably the most powerful voice in sports journalism today. And he's just doing a disservice to the younger generation that didn't see the eras that preceded it in buying his BS peddling of LeBron at 2. We'll see if that changes now that Stephen A. Smith's ego has been hurt by the fact that LeBron humiliated him on national TV and continues to humiliate him, talking about that Pat McAfee interview appearance. But yeah, and other than that, I would say Nick Wright, again, the guy I've already mentioned on here that I would love to debate at some point, either on some internet forum or in studio. I would get out to Nick Wright on my own dime to sit there on set with him and just dismantle his continued idiocy. So those two guys are probably my least favorite. And one more, Gary, before I let you go. Colin Cowherd is such a bum. He's just such a joke. Like all of these guys, there's too many to mention. The dishonest and disingenuous. And quite frankly, these journalists, I don't even know how they got the platforms that they have, how they got the voices that they have. But we need a sea change. And I would love to be the one that could just kind of take these guys down a couple pegs if I can. But great question, and thank you for the super. What's
Colin Cowherd, I think if he's being totally genuine, I think he's got interesting points. The problem is he's just going with whatever's trending. He's not being his authentic self because now notice the way he's criticizing Shedeur Sanders all of a sudden, whereas before he was always making excuses for him. For some reason, Colin is allowed to give genuine pushback. I think if he was his authentic self, he'd be a lot more interesting.
Fair.
Yeah.
Gary, before we move on with the super, I see one that flashed up. In43SH,
yes, sir.
Dropped me a super. I just want to thank you so much for that and for the support here. of this live, and I'll read that. It says, I noticed at the beginning of Jokic's career, he had many more doubters, haters. Most of them had to change their perspective now. Even Gil or Perkins, not as much as before. Who are the Jokic haters now? That is a good point. Gil, of course, who said that Jokic was the worst MVP in the last 50 years, has now been actually. I saw some videos earlier in the year where Gil was actually pushing Jokic for MVP over Shea. So that was interesting. And even Perkins took an MVP out. He took an MVP off of Nikola Jokic's mantle. Kendrick Perkins was one of the leading advocates and voices which stopped Nikola Jokic from winning the MVP in 2023 when Joel Embiid stole that one. With allegations by Perkins of race, that Jokic was insinuating that he's winning these MVPs because he's white, and also claiming that Nikola Jokic was stat padding that year. But now Perkins actually refers to Nikola Jokic favorably and discusses him as an all-time great. I think that the Nikola Jokic hate, I think it has been diminishing somewhat, but there is still some, I don't want to call it overt, but there's still some simmering below the surface disparaging and degradation of Nikola Jokic. Primarily, I would say the defensive narrative, like how poor Nikola Jokic is from a defensive standpoint, is being overstated and overplayed. I think that's the big push right now, trying to say like, oh, well, Shea is just so much more valuable because he's a two-way player. Nikola Jokic doesn't play any defense. He's the worst defender in the NBA. Nikola Jokic is far away from the worst defender in the NBA. To me, I think Nikola Jokic is actually a pretty, I'd say he's a good, an average to good defender. I'm going to do a video. You guys have my word on this. Whenever the season ends for the Denver Nuggets, which might be tomorrow night, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to look at what Nikola Jokic did in the regular season and the playoffs from a defensive standpoint. So stay tuned for that video coming at some point. I think that it's unfair, the narrative surrounding him about the defense that he plays. Also, he's getting no help from the perimeter wings that are defending. They're a sieve, just getting blown by on the perimeter routinely. So that's not helping Jokic's rim support either. So I'd say it is, you're right, in 43 SH. Thanks again for the super. You're right, the hate has been diminished a little bit, but it's still out there and it's still under the surface. And if he loses tomorrow night, you're going to see it come out in full force. And if he wins tomorrow night and then loses to Oklahoma City in a series that they'll have no business even being in, again, the hate will resurface and people will be, touting Shea. So just stay tuned for whenever they're eliminated. It's going to happen. Gary, what's next? What do we got?
We got Juice. I recently saw a post that compared Jokic this season to some prime LeBron season stat-wise, and Jokic gapped him across the board. LeBron fans were like, different era, when they trash other eras 24/7.
Yeah, that Juice, thank you so much for getting back in here. You have made a plethora of donations to me as well. So I just wanted to thank you yet again for another very generous donation to me. And look, I've looked at these things myself. I've done a couple videos in the past about Jokic and LeBron head-to-head. Look, if you can somewhat mitigate the era-specific differential, not totally, because you can't really account for the type of defense that was being played in previous eras versus this current one, but you can normalize the pace. You could do per 36 minutes. You could do per 100 possessions. Jokic, if you do the standard box, if you do per 36, if you do per 100 possessions, Jokic just demolishes LeBron basically like year for year. Look at the different stages of the career, prime for prime, peak for peak, whatever you want to say. Jokic is the superior player. He's a superior advance. This is the other funny thing, Juice, and all of you out there still tuning in here on this live stream. Many thanks to you guys for sticking with me here. I know it's late. We've been on for about an hour. This game is working to a conclusion, but thank you so much for being out here and for contributing in these super chats. The LeBron fan base, stan base, whatever, also like to talk up these advanced analytic metrics throughout LeBron's career about what an efficient player he is and an advanced rated player he was. Even though, mind you, LeBron never surpassed Michael Jordan in these things, not ever. Like LeBron's played at any stage of his career, LeBron was never above Michael Jordan in PER, BPM, win share per 48. Never. Nikola Jokic has now surpassed both LeBron James and Michael Jordan. So really, and that's in all three: PER, BPM, and win share per 48. Nikola Jokic is number one all time in NBA history from a career standpoint. Jokic clears LeBron James at everything, and he even won a championship without a single All-Star. So he's proven he can win a challenging title too, unlike LeBron. That is why I have Nikola Jokic above LeBron James now, peak for peak. And we'll see what happens for the total career standpoint. I think I'm trending in a direction where I'll have Nikola Jokic from a career standpoint above LeBron James as well. So great question, Juice. And guys, Gary, before I'll stick on here with you guys. If we still, as long as there's super chats that you haven't read, I wouldn't mind staying on here and spotlighting those and answering them. But I do just want to highlight the fact that this game is over. There's 26 seconds left in this game. Yep. In Rockets and Warriors. Rockets with the ball. They're just dribbling the clock out. 115-105 right now. The Houston Rockets obliterated Golden State last game to force them back to San Francisco for this attempted closeout at home. Many just assumed that the closeout, including myself, just assumed the closeout would occur tonight and Golden State would be moving on into the second round. But not so fast, because Ime Udoka, what an absolute stud that he is. What a coaching tour de force he's laid down this season in this turnaround for this young Houston Rockets team. And what an amazing job he's done in getting them ready to come on the road tonight and win this game and force Golden State into what is going to be a very uncomfortable Game 7 on the road in Houston. I just want to look at this box real fast, guys. I just want to see. I think Sengun's been the best player in this series by and large on either team. But Fred VanVleet tonight with 29 points on 7 of 13. Massive game from him. He was hot last night. He set the tone early, in their last game in Game 5. So just an amazing effort by the Houston Rockets, a shocking effort. And on the other end, conversely, let's take a look. Jimmy Butler with 27, Steph Curry with 29. Not a whole lot coming from anybody else on this Warriors team. But look, not a great shooting night for either of these guys. 7 of 17 for Jimmy Butler, 9 of 23 for Steph Curry. Both of them in the negatives, minus 12 for Jimmy, playoff Jimmy, and minus 11 for Steph Curry. So there you have it. Holy crap. I thought we were only going to get the one Game 7, which will be tomorrow night, Denver and the Clippers. But we're going to get another Game 7. Let me see exactly. Gary, do you know when that Game 7 is going to be played? I'm guessing it will be on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Sunday. I can confirm if you want me to look it up.
It's Sunday. I do not have a time at this point, but I can confirm Game 7, Warriors Rockets Sunday. So yikes, look out. Only one day off in between to travel to Houston now for Curry, who looks to be ailing, or there's been some discussions on, what's going on with him from a health standpoint. Jimmy Butler, who has been playing through some injury. He obviously took that hard fall earlier in the series, missed the game actually. He's looked a little hampered from time to time throughout this series so far. So they're only going to get one day rest, and they got to go to travel on that day. So yikes, a team where, I thought I was already counting on Golden State to get in. Now that is very much in doubt, and this would be such a colossal failure. We'll get to some more of the supers, but I just want to say the Golden State Warriors put it all into Jimmy Butler for this moment, for this game that's going to occur on Sunday. They were 25-26 at the trade deadline. The Golden State Warriors, at the time they acquired Jimmy Butler, were tied for 10th in the playoff standings at that time. Tied for 10th with the Kings for the last play-in spot. They were absolutely trending towards missing the playoffs altogether. Hell, missing the play-in. They made that trade for Jimmy Butler, and they've been 23-7 in games that Jimmy Butler has been dressed in since they acquired him. And everybody has been counting on the Warriors as being same as the Lakers. Like once they made this acquisition, like once the Lakers got Luka Doncic, look out for the Lakers in the playoffs. Once Golden State got Jimmy Butler, look out for Golden State in the playoffs. And accordingly, they have looked good. They have been looking like they were right on schedule to do that and to accomplish those things. They started right out of the gates. They set the tone in game one. They won that game one in Houston, and they've been playing ahead the whole series to this point. But now this young Rockets team is gaining momentum, gaining confidence. They have won the last two games, and now they are going home. They look fresher. They are far younger. And, oh, boy, this would be a colossal collapse, in my opinion, for the Golden State Warriors, and not a very good look for playoff Jimmy or Steph Curry in what you have to think is one of Curry's last good looks. The Thunder are only going to be emerging after this year with another year of playoff experience under their belt. And Steph Curry's going to be another year older. They have all the pressure on Sunday. And look, they have players that have dealt with ample amounts of pressure in the past. The Rockets are in uncharted territory on that front. But hey, look, sometimes what you don't know can't kill you, right? The Rockets will be playing fancy, free, and loose in that game. I am pretty excited to see this pending Game 7. That, again, will be on Sunday. We do not know the time yet, but stay tuned for that, obviously. It's going to be a juicy one. Gary, any other supers?
I got another one that I think I overlooked earlier, if I'm not mistaken, from Juice. And he asked, who other than LeBron, who are your top three overrated players of all time other than LeBron?
I did. I actually did read that one. I did answer that one already. I mentioned Steph, which I knew I would take some heat for on that. And in terms of other players, like in terms of overrating, like in NBA history, not many players readily come to mind. I would say this. I am in hindsight. I'm not going to use the word overrated necessarily because I have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on my Mount Rushmore, and I have Magic Johnson in my top 7 range. But when I really look back and dig into their championship runs, first of all, those teams were, to me, the best teams ever assembled. When you talk about Kareem and Magic and Worthy and an assortment of other incredible role players and high-level defenders, to me, that team, that 80s Lakers team, the best team, in my opinion, ever assembled. And they played, by and large, trash in the Western Conference. Like, they got Hakeem early on when he actually had a feasible supporting cast there. But other than that, I believe 4 of their 5 championship runs, they went through 4 of those runs are bottom 5 in terms of the easiest playoff runs in NBA history. So when I look at the competition they faced to win those and the stacked amounts of teams they had, I kind of have to question like how much I value those titles in hindsight. And the fact that Kareem, who again is on my Mount Rushmore, I've been thinking more and more about this guy. He won 1 championship with Oscar Robertson, then never again for the whole decade of the 70s, which is when he was in his prime, till he went and teamed up with Magic and then won his other 5 with Magic. So I've been asking some questions about those two and just overall their overall placement. But I'm not going to use the term overrated, but just something I've been musing on personally and thinking about. So yeah, sorry about that, Juice. I do see one from Juice though. Here that he is super high on Schengen as a fellow European, which so am I. Like I said, I think this guy has been the best player by and large for most of the series. He's playing against Draymond Green. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in Game 7. So shout out, Juice, again to you. Many thanks for the multiple supers that you've sent me here. What else you got, Gary?
We got Mind of the North Star with a 10-piece. Thank you for that. As a Bulls fan from Chicago, the greatest thing Ladiddy has done for me is, I guess, multiple. I think he meant multiply my appreciate. is multiply my appreciation for Kobe 10 times over. At least the Kobe versus Jordan debate made sense. Bron made me miss those days.
Yeah, it's a great point. Thanks. Thank you for the super. I appreciate that. It's a great point. Like if you, I think I hear this point made a lot with people that maybe disliked Kobe, either were Kobe haters or just that Kobe was consistently dogging their favorite team. So he was like their enemy, an enemy to them. But many of them say, like, watching this era now, watching LeBron James and what he's done with the NBA after he inherited it from Kobe really makes them in hindsight go back and appreciate Kobe Bryant. So I think that's a great point. And I think one of the reasons I dislike LeBron so much is because he is essentially the antithesis of Kobe Bryant. He really is. If you think about it, Kobe won 3 championships with Shaquille O'Neal at a young age. And he then said to himself, in light of all the criticisms to some degree from external sources, like, oh, the consensus is I can't win my own championships. I can't win a challenging title. I can't win without Shaq. Oh, really? Check this out. And then he went and won, to me, the 2 best championships maybe ever, like 2 of the 5 best championships ever. I put Hakeem's 94 run in there. Probably one of Jordan's runs would have to go in there. But I mean, that's what Kobe did. In his age 26 season-ish, I believe he was around age 26, he leveraged his free agency to force Shaquille O'Neal out of town. When LeBron was 26, he colluded with Dwayne Wade, and they recruited Chris Bosh to go build a super team and steal cheap, trashy rings, something that a tactic he's been deploying now for 15 years-ish since, and stealing cheap, trashy rings, all the while doing his damnedest to destroy the NBA. So, yeah, I think when you really look at Kobe as a foil compared to LeBron, it really should make you appreciate Kobe all the more. So, great point, and thank you very much for that super chat. I appreciate it.
John's got an interesting question here. John Ratcliffe with a 2-piecer. Thank you.
Man, John back in. Thank you, John.
MJ and Kobe played opposing teams 2-on-2. They each get a teammate, but Jordan doesn't get Pippen and Kobe doesn't get Shaq. So MJ gets one teammate other than Pippen. Kobe gets one teammate other than Shaq. Who should those teammates be, and who would win in a game of 2-on-2?
Well, I mean, it's probably for Kobe, his most high leverage. Great question, John. Thank you for yet another super. I'd say Kobe's most well-known teammate, his best teammate other than Shaq many would consider that to be Pau Gasol. So I would probably say Kobe and Gasol. As for Jordan, I mean, that's a great question. From an offensive standpoint, Jordan really didn't have many teammates offensively. But I'd say like Dennis Rodman, even though if we take Dennis Rodman from a standpoint where he joined the Bulls, he was like in his mid-30s. So it wasn't prime Dennis Rodman. But, if we take Dennis Rodman maybe at his peak and put him on that team just from a defensive standpoint, and Jordan can handle the scoring himself. He doesn't really need an offensive player. So
what would happen with Rodman and Kobe? You know how he antagonized everybody? How would Kobe handle that? That would have been hilarious TV.
Yeah, it really would be a tremendous battle between those two. I don't know. I would probably maybe even give Jordan and Rodman the advantage just because of how good they both are defensively. If it's one-on-one, I think Kobe is every bit the one-on-one player of Jordan. I really do. I think Kobe is underrated. Actually, it's crazy to say this, but I think Kobe is an underrated offensive player. I think you can make a case Kobe was a better offensive player than Michael Jordan. Jordan is physically more dominant. Jordan is a better defender than Kobe, but I'd say Kobe is a better ball handler, a better shooter by and large than Jordan. I think Jordan probably attacked the basket a bit better. He was probably better going to the rim than Kobe. But I'd say Kobe is, to me, Kobe and Jordan are the 2 best offensive players of all time, in my opinion. You could throw Wilt in there as well, even though it's hard to gauge the 60s. But still, I look at all of Wilt's accolades, look at the things that he accomplished. I think he deserves to be in that same breath, in that same conversation. So Jordan and Kobe one-on-one would be more difficult for me to call. I would even probably give it a toss-up. But if we're saying Robin and Jordan with the defensive prowess of those two against Powell and Kobe, I think maybe Jordan and Robin get the slight check there.
I have a follow-up question, something I think would be interesting just to hear you talk real quick. I believe, you know how people have these dream scenarios and everything. I have what I think would be the ultimate unstoppable best three players to play together in a 3-on-3 game. I want to see if you think anybody could beat my three. I have Jordan, Steph Curry, and Shaq. I don't think anybody would beat him because Shaq would dominate the inside, Curry would dominate the outside, and Jordan would dominate the middle. Can you think of three players to challenge Shaq, Curry, and Jordan? And do you agree with me, or do you think I'm off base?
No, in fact, I would take any great third player. I would take a pairing of Hakeem Olajuwon and Kobe Bryant. And I would throw somebody on that, maybe Kevin Durant or something like that. And I think that team could do it. I think Kobe and Jordan would neutralize each other from a one-on-one standpoint. I give Hakeem Olajuwon the check over Shaq on both sides of the ball. And I don't think very highly of Steph Curry at all on the defensive side. So, I would probably even take, I would say like Kobe, Kawhi, and like Hakeem. I would say like if those three players, I would probably take them over that three. But yeah, they'd be hard to beat. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Kawhi is often overlooked because he's injured so often. Stump with a 5-piece. Thank you for that. Hopefully this year signal the end of the aging superstar max contract.
Yes, yeah, sir. I mean, the NBA in general, they have to do something about the guarantee contracts. I think fully guarantees in the NBA are probably going by the wayside. I would think. Look, the current CBA runs for a couple more years. I think at least 5 more. I think 5 more years. And then when this CBA expires, I would be shocked if there wasn't some kind of a work stoppage with ownership trying to really push back and get a check on these fully guaranteed contracts. And I'm sure the players will not be very accommodating of that move by ownership, which is why I'm speculating on a potential work stoppage. But in general, the contracts are just out of control in the NBA. It's going up even more. The salary cap's going up 15%, I believe, 15% next year. It's supposed to be around 154 million next year. I think it was like 140 this year. Then, of course, about 10 teams are going to penetrate that cap go into the luxury tax zone and maybe even the apron range. So like 10-ish teams are going to be like near 200 million-ish. So the contracts are just out of control and they're fully guaranteed. And yeah, some of these guys have guarantees until they're in their late 30s almost. I mean, look at the contract. Milwaukee's going to be paying Damian Lillard $50+ million next year to not play a single game at the age of 35 as he's rehabbing a ruptured Achilles. So things definitely do need to be changed on the contract. So hopefully you're right. Thank you for the super chat, and hopefully you're right that a change is coming.
And everyone, we're winding down. If anyone has any other super chat questions, send them in now because we're winding down. I've got the last one here that is asking about your current plans as a content creator. And I would tell this person, you're brainstorming every day. You're developing the channel. This is actually a young channel. It's a lot of success on the channel, but it's still in development.
Yeah, that was I saw that one. It was in 43SH again. So thank you very much for multiple super chats from you as well. I appreciate that. And I honestly don't know. I've really been working on this channel consistently for this is about my full second year. I started really a concerted effort to work on this platform and just try to build a voice and a presence in general in the sports media landscape. I started that in March 2023. So, we're in April of 2025. So this is just 2 years now, just about coming to an end at the end of these playoffs. And I've got a lot of things I want to do. I'm trying, as you guys see, I am now on, this is my first solo live stream. So thank you guys all that have been here for roughly an hour and a half now. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you coming out, watching me, checking in, supporting me, giving me the super chat things here. I appreciate all of you guys. I hope to do more of this moving forward. So I want to get on lives more frequently. I just put a short out today. I'm going to be trying to put some of those out. I'm expanding onto other platforms. I have been on X. You can follow me on there. I made my first Instagram post today. So I'm going to be on Instagram as well moving forward. And I have a Discord, whatever they call it, server, I believe. So these are all new things to me. I don't exactly know my way around all the social media platforms yet, but I just like talking about sports. I have a lot of opinions about sports. I've been following it avidly for 30 years now. I think I have some good takes, and I just want to pump those takes out there. And I like interacting and engaging with people and debating, and I like being in the comments and talking with you guys. So, I'm just trying to get bigger ultimately. I'm just trying to grow and expand and just take this as far as I can. So
Scat, we got a problem.
Goals, but I'm going to be working my ass off every day.
Scat, we got a problem. There's someone in the chat named Matt, and he needs to be stopped because he's spreading misinformation. I think it may be Robin's sock account because he says Robin owns you, or what's his channel name? Fitness. I lost it. It got lost.
Sports and Fitness Rants
owns you. This guy's a liar. This must be Robin's sock account.
I mean, anyone that has seen me, if Robin's watching, or whoever this Matt person is out there, Matt, it's just at Matt, it looks like. Yeah, Matt. If you have seen me on MJFB, where I have been on frequently in the past year or so, I've probably been on there 15 times or so. Robin and I have mixed it up multiple times, and Robin has never owned me in any way, shape, or form in any capacity whatsoever. I am always willing, ready, and able to chat, discuss, debate Robin anytime, anywhere. I'm not running. I'm not afraid. And I've never been owned by Robin. So anytime, I'm always ready, willing to go on that front. I do just want to give a quick shout out. If Robin's in here, please present yourself. But Kuis Onok, I'm probably slaughtering that name, but I just saw a super chat from them fly up on my screen. So I just wanted to thank you for that. It says, love your content, Scap. Keep it up. Is Kawhi better than LeBron? So I'll just answer that real quick. I know we're wrapping things up here, but
healthy LeBron.
What's that?
I'm sorry, healthy Kawhi, not career. We know LeBron has a better career because of health, but just when he's healthy, because I asked you that last week. The same great question.
It is a great question, and I would say that peak Kawhi, I would say, does eclipse peak LeBron. I've never seen, and this is why, because I favor these challenging titles. Like, the reason I have Hakeem Olajuwon over LeBron is because Hakeem showed that he can win challenging championships without the deck stacked against difficult opponents. Kobe Bryant proved that he could win challenging championships without the deck stacked. Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I have all of these guys peak for peak over LeBron James, and you're damn right that I have Kawhi over LeBron James peak for peak, because he too proved that he can win a challenging championship, even if it's just one. They did something that LeBron never has. They did something LeBron couldn't do. LeBron himself admitted he couldn't do it when he tucked tail and left Cleveland without a championship and went and won those first two super team championships. Then he won another super team championship, and then he won one with Anthony Davis, who was historically great that year that he won it. So, yes, I've got peak Kawhi above peak LeBron. Now, obviously, the totality of LeBron's career resume, probably you would say that he still clears Kawhi, but prime for prime, yeah, I got Kawhi, no doubt about it.
All right, and Q's Mo Jimbo says MJ and Judd Buechler. Or is it? How do you pronounce his last name?
Buechler, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Versus Kobe and Luke Walton.
That's a good question. So basically, just Kobe and Jordan 1-on-1 is what you're saying. So,
right.
So yeah, I would say, like I said before, toss up. I don't know. I can't answer. Gun to my head, I can't even pick between Kobe and Jordan 1-on-1. I respect Kobe that much. They're the two best, in my opinion, of all time. They are the only, I believe, those two and Jerry West are the only three players in NBA history who led the league in scoring and was first team All-NBA. So there's no one that has done it to me at a higher level on both sides of the floor than those two. The best offensive players, period, for an entire generation. And they were double-digit All-NBA first-team selection. So those two 1-on-1, those two are damn hard for anybody to beat. And if they played each other, it's a coin toss for me.
All right. And John Ratcliffe with another 10-piece. Thank you for that. I'm not quite sure what he's asking, but I'll try to word it as best I can. I hate LaFlop so much in 2025. I started anew my era. I forced seriously career-threatening injuries on LaFlop as a rookie. By the time his era came up, he'd already retired. Wish that he never played.
Yeah, John, thanks a lot for the super. I appreciate that. You've been very, very active on the supers. You just keep giving me them. So I really do appreciate you and all of you guys out there that have been not just giving me the super chats, everyone in the comments and everybody that has been on here. It's been, anywhere between 200 to 300 people in here for pretty much the entirety of this thing. And for my first live stream at this late hour with really no notice, I am very humbled at you guys being out here and staying here for this long. But yeah, John, just to your point here, I think LeBron destroyed the NBA. I really do. That's part of the reason why I dislike him. It's a twofold reason. I think someone that thinks so highly of himself that he tattoos Chosen One on his back, calls himself king, and has been peddling himself as the GOAT for about 10 years now. This guy has been crawling to other all-time greats teams and begging them to help him win championships. It's so off-putting. It's so distasteful and disgusting. And the thing about it was that he empowered others of the same era to do it too. So other great players throughout this whole era have just thought that it was okay to conduct yourself like this. He ushered in the era of player empowerment, of super teaming. And that in and of itself destroyed the competitive balance of the NBA. It destroyed the sport for a decade straight, and we're still trying to crawl out of it. So I really too wish that LeBron never played. Yes. And the sad reality of it with LeBron James is the guy is an all-time talent. He is so utterly talented and physically gifted. If he just had the mental tenacity that other all-time greats seem to have naturally, like Kobe Bryant, like Magic Johnson, like Michael Jordan. If he just had between the ears what those guys had, he could have been possibly the GOAT. Instead, he used his powers for the wrong side of things and destroyed the NBA. So yes, when people say, oh, you should just be celebrating greatness, just appreciate greatness, BS. I will not appreciate LeBron James because he destroyed the NBA and we're still trying to dig out from it.
Yes, sir. And N43 SH, $5. Thank you for that. Scap Attack versus Best Skilled LeBron Jock Sniffer. Oh, wait, it already happened. I guess he's referring to Gilbert.
N43SH, thank you again for yet another super from you. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm always on standby. There are a couple of topics that I'm always willing to debate. I see a lot of people in here that have not been featured because, quite frankly, there's been a lot of super chats. So I've been kind of answering those questions. But I see a lot of Jokic hate in here. A lot of people asserting that I'm some kind of a Jokic sniffer of some sort. There are three topics that I'm ready, willing to debate anytime, anywhere. It's basically Jordan v. LeBron, Kobe v. LeBron, or just Jokic in general. I think I'm on the right side of all of those things. And I'm never going to acquiesce to the other side. I'm never going to back down. I know a lot of people out there get a little annoyed maybe at my Jokic videos, probably think I overdo it a bit. But look, that's one of the big topics right now. And I think Jokic is being unfairly criticized for many things now, and it's going to ramp up tomorrow. I think they will lose that Game 7 tomorrow night. So it's just gonna go into overdrive tomorrow, and I'm gonna be here to stand in the face of it all. And I might even piss off some of you guys that think I'm being hypocritical or I'm not being consistent. I don't see it that way, and I'll continue to explain why that is in upcoming videos that I'll be doing in the aftermath of more than likely that Game 7 loss tomorrow.
And right or wrong, none of us are perfect. We just want passion. We just want to see passionate discussions that are fun and entertaining to watch. And we try to be as accurate. And sometimes we'll revisit a take and change our mind from it. We are wrapping up here. And guess what? It looks like we're on our last ones. We just got Super Chat number 50. So props for that. QS Onak, MJ and Kobe would never say anything like, it's just basketball. By the way, Jokic is currently the best player. 2 for 2,
yeah.
Onak.
QS, thank you so much. Thank you for putting us over the top to 50 super chats. That's a crazy number to me. Thank you so much to all of you guys out there for joining me here tonight and giving me these supers. I really do appreciate you guys. And yeah, I couldn't agree more with this MJ Kobe thing about LeBron. Of course, he's referring to, I think it might have been last year where he said it's just basketball.
Yeah.
But you know, Gary, moderator Gary, by the way, thank you so much for all of your hard work tonight. He's been doing this from the beginning. Like I remember back in 2000 and the famed pants crapping of 2011, the biggest choke job in sports history when the Miami Heat barfed all over themselves to the Dallas Mavericks. And in the midst of that pants pooping, that epic, like Greek mythology, like pants crap by LeBron James, he sat there on the post-game press conference stage. And the question from one of the assembled media, essentially, I'm paraphrasing, the question was, LeBron, how does it make you feel that people by and large around the country are celebrating your failures? That you have become this villainous type figure and that your failures are now being celebrated by and large by the majority of the country? To which LeBron's answer was, again, I'm paraphrasing, but you can go check this out. Look it up. Essentially, he said, guys, look, I'm rich. I'm a rich athlete that is making tons of money to play a game and live my best life. And all of the people out there that are hating me are going to have to go back to their crappy lives and hate their lives tomorrow or whenever it is that I'm eliminated. And I'm still going to be a winner because I'm a rich athlete. What a pathetic loser that guy is. Like, what a tone-deaf loser comment that was to make. And then, as QS Onak points out, 20 years later, and he's never learned, or whatever, 15 years later, and he's still, oh, it's just basketball. Well, yes, LeBron, that's why you're a loser. That's why you continue to fail in high leverage moments, because you do look at it like that. Whereas conversely, MJ and Kobe, they look at it in a whole different light. Again, I want to talk about one other story here. It was a player being interviewed, Mark Jackson. Gary, you of course remember Mark Jackson. He would play with the Pacers. Most well-known. He played against Jordan. He played against Kobe when Kobe came in the league. Mark Jackson did an interview on Club Shay Shay. Shannon Sharpe, he's under a little bit of fire these days, but he still does have a pretty prominent YouTube channel and platform. He's a pretty well-renowned voice in the sports media, and he has these interviews from time to time. And he was interviewing Mark Jackson, and of course, Unk, in Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharpe was of course slobbering all over LeBron James, doing his bootlicking like he typically does on the clutch payroll that we all know that he's on. And he was trying to move the conversation towards LeBron with Mark Jackson, talking about how is LeBron the GOAT? How do you compare LeBron and Jordan was the conversation that Shannon Sharpe was really plugging. And Mark Jackson refused to take the bait. He said, again, paraphrasing, but you can look this up as well. He said to him, Mark Jackson, of course, multi-year NBA vet, played against Jordan and Kobe. He said, to me, it will always be Kobe and Jordan and everybody else. And why he said that was because he got the sense that Kobe and Jordan were willing to draw their last breath on a basketball court to win a game. And then Jackson said, look, I'm competitive, but that's not me. And that's not anybody else I've ever seen other than those two guys, that they'd be willing to give their life to win a basketball game. That's how much it meant to Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. And then you conversely, you compare that to, oh, well, I'm just a rich athlete that's having fun, or it's just basketball. Loser mentality by a loser that will never stack up to that guy over my shoulder, Kobe, and of course, never the great Michael Jordan.
Yes, sir. We got a couple other ones that just came in. That from Juan Sanchez, $5. Thank you for that. 3-point line is a gimmick. It's like making dunks worth 3 points. Only way to measure all players from all eras is to make every basket count the same.
Interesting premise, Juan Sanchez. Thank you for the super chat. Gary, we're trying to get out of here, but these super chats keep rolling in. So
yes,
I appreciate everybody keeping us on here for a little bit longer. I don't want to eradicate the 3-point line. I don't even really want to try to tamper with the 3-point shooting that's going on, which it is extreme. I think it was 38 3-points attempted a game on average this year across all NBA teams, whereas the Celtics were shooting, I think, around 50 a game, which is just a ridiculous number. But I think it's more of a competition problem, Juan. I think that if you incentivize defense, put in hand checking again, dictate that the game be officiated a little differently, allow them to put hands on these guys, bring more physicality back in the game. Again, as I said earlier in this live stream, take away, maybe put illegal defense back in, so take away zoning abilities. And I think probably at that point, I think that the 3-point problem would be corrected a little bit more.
I think the paint would get way too cluttered without the 3-point line, and the game would look really ugly. Then everyone would be complaining about how ugly the game got inside. Because what point would there be of going outside if you didn't get that extra point? But I do agree with the premise. It's too bad we can't quantify and measure stats in different eras the same way, since the 3-point line was just implemented was it the late 70s or early 80s?
I think 79 or 80 was the first year that it went in. They took it actually from the ABA. So the ABA NBA merger was like in 1976, and the 3-point line actually was brought over from the ABA, put in I think 79. So I want to say Bird and Magic's first year was like the first year the 3-point line was in, I think, top of my head. But yeah, I mean, they were shooting like less than 10 a game for years. The 3-point line was a bit of a novelty, and no one really could have seen, I don't think, what it has become today. I don't think anybody could have foresaw it and the advanced analytic movement ushered in here in today's day and age. So yeah, I think something does need to be changed, but it's not in litigating out or, saying teams can only shoot 30 shots or something. I don't like those things. Just make these guys want to play defense more, and I think that would correct some of the problems.
Yes, sir. And closing out with another John Ratcliffe 2-piece, which is just making a statement. which I think you and I are both in agreement with. How is LaFlop the GOAT when he's not even Bird? I've said the same thing.
Couldn't agree more. I still have Bird above LeBron. I think there was a time where I was considering moving LeBron over Bird, but the more work I've done in the last 2 years since starting this channel, the more research I've done and analysis of other eras, I think that Larry Bird still, for me, for my money, goes above LeBron James, and I will certainly have him there probably for all of time. LeBron really can do nothing at this point that would have me shift where I have him and what I think of him. So
Bird's a killer. That. He's an assassin.
100%.
Like take Larry Bird and Reggie Miller. They're not as athletic as Jordan and Kobe, but they all have that killer mentality. I'm going to kill you or die trying. And that's what LeBron lacks.
Totally agree. And I think there's just something to be said for winners. And LeBron, to me, he was not a high leverage winner, especially when you look at the fact he's entering his 23rd year next year. He's played with elite all-time greats, only to win 4. So you can say Bird only has 3, but Bird, realistically, look, I think he was 22 when he ultimately started playing in the NBA. And he was really his back and the untimely injuries because of the level of physicality that he played with and the reckless abandon that he displayed for his body, and not load managing and playing as hard as he could. I mean, Bird's his peak prime was really only 9-ish years. So, I'll take 3 championships in 9 years versus 4 in like 22 for LeBron. So, I'll still put, and not to mention, just Bird did more things better than LeBron. I mean, obviously he's nowhere near as good of an athlete, but just when you look at the totality of skill set that Bird had, I mean, it's not even close. One of the most skilled players in NBA history, in my opinion. So, yes, I agree, John, and thank you for the many super chats that you sent me. And thank all of you guys for the many, many super chats. Over 50 super chats tonight. Unbelievable. And just an unbelievable response, I think, from all of you guys. Like I said, we're still over, I think, 250-ish people in here. I think we maxed out around 330 or something like that. Again, for an impromptu live, my first live at that, really humbled at the response from you guys to come out here and join me. During the game, by the way, which just to recap that really quickly, Houston, shout out Ime Udoka, Fred VanVleet, who's averaging 27 points per game in the last 3, and that young assortment of players. That's going to be a very interesting game on Sunday. I've been thinking all along throughout this first round that this was the Rockets series, but now I'm starting to reconsider that. I think Houston, I'm thinking this was the Warriors series, but now I'm starting to rethink that. I think Houston might have a viable look at winning this series on Sunday. So you should probably check that out, and I will most certainly be doing a video or something on it, regardless of which way that goes. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Moderator Gary, who was not pictured here, but he was a pervasive member of this chat tonight. He's done work tonight for me, and I greatly appreciate you, Gary, for being a part of this and helping me out tonight.
Yes, sir.
Probably if I do more of these, maybe I'll have you on more, hopefully. What do you think?
When we're closing out, I wanted to say, everyone, if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe, because some people probably just happen to see this live stream on their feed who may not even be subscribed. So subscribe for more live streams, more upcoming videos, and everyone hit the like button, please. And also be on the lookout either tomorrow night after Game 7 of Nuggets Clippers, or early Sunday morning, either a live stream tomorrow night possibly, or a video sometime tomorrow night or early Sunday morning. Be on the lookout for that, because Scap's going to have a lot to say about the outcome of that game.
Yeah, either way, I'm not going to be hiding, Gary. That's the key. Look, whether win or lose tomorrow night for Nikola Jokic, I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be talking, and I'm not going to be hard to find. So yes, absolutely. And great point too, Gary. Please do subscribe. If you aren't subscribed, please do. I am on a mission out here trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year, 2025. I would love to get one of these silver play button plaque thingy majiggies from YouTube behind me here. So please make sure, if you are not subscribed, I need your help to get me there for 100K. And Gary, just real fast before we close it out, one more super chat did get in. I just want to highlight Cinder Block for 1999. Cinder Block, thank you so much. Great first live, Scap. Thanks for keeping it real. You were born for this. Congrats. I love you, Cinder Block. Thank you very much for that very, very kind donation. And Cinder Block is an active member of my channel and my life. So thank you, Cinder Block. And again, thank you, all of you, and thank you, Gary. I will see all of you guys again sometime very soon. I will be getting on here. This is my pledge to you. I will be doing more of these lives throughout these playoffs and maybe even beyond. So stay tuned for that. Guys, until next time, have a pleasurable night, a great night, and enjoy tomorrow's Game 7. I know I probably won't. I'll be on pins and needles, but you can catch me after that game. Good night, guys. It's been fun for me, and I do appreciate all of you from the bottom of my heart.